So good morning, everybody. Have something to sit on. We will need a chair a bit later and some folded blankets. For now, sit cross-legged and just notice the way that you would normally come to sit cross-legged. We generally fold in one particular way because we find that more comfortable. So just change that. Change the crossing of the way you'd normally sit. Move your shins a little bit further forward and then gently press your knees towards each other so we end up crossing in the midline of the shins. Press down onto your fingers, lift your buttocks and reach back with your sitting bones onto the support and then lift your chest. You end up, your feet are more under your knees. And just remember, if your knees are really high and it's tight in the groin, just take more height. Hold on to your knees and roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Gently move your elbows away from each other. So you're pointing your elbows out to the sides to get your collarbones to move away from each other. And then bring your hands into the prayer position. Maintain that broad and open chest, lifted chest, and then just gently close your eyes. Allow your lips to be softly connecting. But soften in the jaw. Allow the lower jaw to gently unhinge away from the upper jaw, but still allowing your lips to gently connect. And then invite a softness into the throat, the area of communication. With the inner walls of the throat soften and broaden. And allow your eyes to soften towards the outer corners, releasing any tension on the skin around the eyes. And become aware of your breath now. Soft, serene breath. It's hopefully slowing down a bit now as you relax into the seated position. Bringing full awareness to within yourself. Just observe the natural course of the breath. We'll do the 3 Oms together, but just being aware of the sounds. So when it's described, when an Om is described in letters or sounds, it's A, O, M. So that you may see it written as A-U-M, the Om sound. So just be aware of that and try and bring that sound in, that shaping of the sound into it. As you allow the vibration to release with the exhalation, the ah comes right down at the very base of the root chakra. And the sound changes to oh as it comes up towards your center, your solar plexus, and the heart center. And then it changes to as it moves all the way into the head and out through the top. We'll do those 3 Om sounds together. So empty your lungs. Inhale. Just release your head to your heart to make your own inner acknowledgements. And when you're ready, slowly look to your fingertips, just observing how the sounds charges the surrounding atmosphere. On a cellular level, it reaches every part in the body. Just release your hands, keep your head down, put your palms face up, head resting on the back of your knees. Keep your eyes soft. And just take a moment to observe any feelings or sensations in your hands. Gently draw your navel now back towards the spine, the entire abdomen, draw it back towards the spine. Then allow it to lift gently up towards your chest and your sternum. Lift your chest, raise your head, roll your shoulders back and down. Just release your hands and straighten your legs in front of you. You're still on the support. Open your feet out. So sometimes your toes tend to draw in towards the midline of the body. So move your big toes away from you and the little toe side moving more towards the hips. Press down onto your fingers. Your fingers are facing forward in the same direction as your feet. Press down. If you're on quite a lot of height, you may need some hand support. Keep pressing down, roll your shoulders back, lift your chest, and press the back of your legs into the floor. Feel the back of the legs opening. And now we're going to lift the shoulders up high. So just relax your hands, lift your shoulders up high. Sort of bunch them up towards your ears. Keep your chest lifted. Hold. So you may feel, if you take your mind's eye to the back of the neck, there's the trapezius muscle, that sort of triangular group of muscles that move down behind the neck and go down the back between the shoulder blades. You can feel that's lifted, that's bunched up. Hold it. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. And now roll your shoulders back even more and release your shoulders down your back. Press down onto your fingers again. You feel as though the shoulder blades are sliding or gliding down the back. The trapezius muscle is gliding down the back. Your chest is lifted. So we're going to work quite a bit with opening and releasing in the shoulders today. So if you do have shoulder problems, or for anybody, even if you don't have shoulder problems, just really listen. The shoulders are very complicated, and people with problems, it's a very unique problem. Is if you have a problem, it's quite a unique thing, should I say. So it's to each individual. So some of the movements you may find don't feel right for you, just move away from that. So don't go to pain. Remember, ahimsa, there's no violence. You're going to lie down in Supta Tadasana, so the standing pose, but lying down. You need some space behind you. So we're going to take our hands behind us. So just clear space behind your head, and then be on your mat, your legs bent. So just lie down. You only need space behind you for now. Feet are on the floor. Bring your feet together so your ankle bones touch. Hold on to the outer edges of your mat. And then just slowly straighten your legs so that your ankle bones are still touching. And remember that action we just had where the big toes move away from you and the little toe side as if they're moving up towards the direction of your outer hips. Press the back of your legs down. Hold onto your mat and now lift your chest and slide and glide the shoulder blades down your back. Then release the buttocks flesh, the upper buttocks flesh. Allow it to release down away from you towards your feet. Still pressing the back of your legs into the floor. Just release your mat now. Your palms can face up. If for you your head is tilted back, you may need to take head support underneath the head. But otherwise, for everybody, just try and lengthen your neck, the back of the neck, so that you take your chin closer to your chest. So as if you're looking down, you may not be able to see down all the way, but your eyes are looking in the direction of where your feet are. And now raise both arms up to the vertical. Palms are facing each other. Draw the arms into the shoulders so you can feel, become aware and feel the shoulder blades that they broadly onto the floor. So if you're lifting your arms up too high, the outer edges of the shoulder blades are going to come off the floor. We want the outer edges of the shoulder blades to stay on the floor. Keep your hands where they are, move your thumbs away from the fingers. And then slowly take your arms up and overhead, slowly taking the thumbs to touch the floor and observing if one side touches sooner than the other. So let the thumbs stay onto the floor once you've reached the floor. Let the front ribs broadly spread back to the back body. Keep the back of the legs working. The front of the legs pressing in towards the back of the legs. So keep those legs in Tadasana and bring your hands up to the vertical again. So now go back slowly again and now observe which side touched the floor sooner than the other. And then come away from the floor with your hands and see if you can, you don't have to go all the way up, just go to about a quarter of the way and then slowly go back down again. See if you can reduce that sort of time between the one thumb touching and the other. So you may need to slow the one arm down a little. So just play with that. And if there's anybody out there whose thumbs touch at the exact moment to the floor, I would love to know, because most of us have an imbalance in one side. We use one side more than the other. So especially in our shoulders, it's really good to bring about this balance. Keep your legs working. Keep repeating this. Keep your arms straight. Upper arms drawing into the shoulders. Shoulder blades still broadly spreading onto the floor. And then bring your arms all the way up and over onto the floor again. Bend your knees. You can either roll over to the right or cross at your ankles and bring your feet up and overhead to roll and sit up. Excuse me. So we're going to do something at the wall. Viparita Ardha Hastasana. So you need a little bit of wall space. I hope you can see here. So we're going to take the right hand just below where the hip is. The other hand, you can just let it hang down, or you can take the hand to the hip. So we just watch here so you can get an understanding of how we're going to move. So the side of my body, the side of my right body, side of the right body is at the wall. The right hand moves a little bit behind, being in line with that side body. Fingers pointing down. And then here, I'm just going to turn my feet, shuffle my feet away from the wall, turning away. So if you can all go into that position, I'll show you again for some of you who didn't get that. So your right side is against the wall. Your hand is pressing down just below the hip and just behind, being in line with the the outer side of the body. But if you prefer, you can take your left hand to the hip, so you've got something to do with that hand. Get your legs into Tadasana. So standing, your legs are working. Spread your fingers on the right hand. And now slowly turn, shuffling away from that right hand. So you're turning to your left. Just go to your personal maximum. Keep that arm straight, the right arm straight. Keep your chest lifted. Tighten around the hips and the buttocks. If you can turn to look towards your left side. Otherwise, just look forward. Don't, if it catches on your neck, don't turn to the left with your head. Okay, shuffle all the way back. Change to the other side. So have the left side of the body at the wall. Take your left hand lower than your hip. Spread your fingers. Right hand onto your hip. You need to really reach down into the fingers so your left shoulder draws down away from the ears. And then start to shuffle away to the right. Keep your breath flowing. Keep the legs working in Tadasana all the way up into the hips, the buttocks. Your chest is lifted. And then come back to your right side. So now we're going to lift the hand a little higher. So keep your feet together. You've got a bit of a gap between the walls so you can turn. Take your hand a little bit higher. This also depends on your shoulders. If you have any major shoulder problems, just stay down low. Take your left hand to the hip. So come up to just sort of below your shoulder now. And then turn. So turn to your left. Keep your chest lifted. If you feel, and you should be able to feel this, that your right shoulder is lifting up when you're turning, then you're not ready for this height. You need to move your hand down a little bit lower and just go to that point when your shoulder is still able to release down. Hold and breathe. And then release and go to the left side. So again, find the height that's right for you. Reach the hand further back behind you. Reach into the fingers. And then start to turn. Keep releasing that left shoulder down, away from the ears. Use your breath to release any tightness. Use the exhalation to soften and release. Make sure the fingers are spread on that left hand. You've got full awareness into that hand. The arm is straight. The legs are still working in Tadasana. So the muscles gently tightening to the bone. Okay, and then release. So this one is Ardha Parshvahastasana. So a similar sort of thing to the wall. Your hands are going to be pressing in line with your shoulders. So just check that. You get your hand, see that, look along the arm and see that the wrist is in line with the shoulder. Spread your fingers to be on the right side. So you have to be the distance away from the wall that your arm is. Your feet are together. Get your legs into Tadasana. So you're standing completely upright. Keep your left hand on the hip. And now press into the wall. Lift your chest. So you can really work into the wall now. And the upper arm, as if somebody is pressing at the bottom of this upper arm, pressing up into the arm. Have that action. Press into the heel of the palm. Spread your fingers. Joe, bring your hand down a little bit. Yeah. So just see that the arm is in line and feel, I mean, if it's if for you it's too strong in this position, you can come down a little bit lower, but don't go higher than being in line with your shoulder. And now turn your hands so that the fingers point back. So just stay in the same position, the fingers turning back, press into the wall. Same action here, this upper arm as if somebody is pressing up into that upper arm, up towards the ceiling. Really work into the hand. And now turn your fingers so that they're down, so the wrist is facing up, and then press into the wall. Keep your legs in Tadasana. Keep the arm muscles on that right arm wrapping to the bone. Putting everything into place. And then release. Change to the other side, so the left hand is in line with your shoulder. If you look along your shoulders, look towards the sort of the middle of the palm. You're looking at the back of the palm, the middle area. So see that that's in line with your shoulder. Spread your fingers. Get your legs into Tadasana so they're straight, they're working. Tightening the outer hips towards the inner hips. And then from that, with the arm, that upper arm, the bottom of the upper arm is moving up, 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 up. Hold and breathe. Okay, now turn your fingers away from you. So they're revolving the arm back. Press into the wall. Same action, the bottom of that upper arm moving up. Keep your chest lifted. Let the abdomen draw broadly back towards the spine. Let your front thighs press back. And now turn the hand all the way around so that last movement, your fingers are pointing down, arm is straight. If you feel your shoulder creeping up, release it down away from your ears. You may need to move your fingers a little bit further down to attain that. Excuse me. And then release. So now again at the wall, let's take our hands first of all so that they are just sort of, if you bend your elbows at a right angle and then meet the wall like that. So to that position first, and we have a little bit of a space away from the wall. So if you look from here, just like that, and don't lean to the wall, have a bit of a space, and then we're slowly going to take our hands and slide our hands up the wall. So for now, come to the wall, spread your fingers again. The elbows are moving in towards your side body. Your legs are straight. And gently press into the wall. With your fingers spreading away from each other, lift your chest. Just look forward. Allow your eyes to defocus. And lengthen down into your elbows, as if you're moving your elbows down towards the floor. The shoulders move down the back with that same action. And now slide your hands up a little bit higher. If any shoulder problems, just go to your personal maximum. Keep spreading your fingers, straightening your arms all the way up. Spread your fingers. Now rest your forehead onto the wall. Completely straighten your arms. And let the upper arms draw into the shoulders. Let the shoulder blades glide broadly down your back. And then release, bring your hands all the way down and release them to your sides. So now a similar action, we'll need a chair. So you take your mat, you won't need to stand on it, just fold it so that you don't slip. You could use a blanket as well if you wanted. And take the chair, the back of the chair to the wall. So if this one is too strong for you, you're going to go back to what we've just done and you're going to use the wall instead of coming down to the chair. So just listen to your shoulders. The hands will go to the seat of the chair. And then move your feet further back. So you're on the balls of your feet. Spread your fingers so your arms are straight. Slide your feet back so you don't end up with your butt sticking out, bodies in one straight line. And then from here, when we bend the arms, be careful that they don't go out to the sides. The elbows move back towards the sides and move towards the chair, shoulders away from the ears. And then slowly come away from the chair. And we're going to repeat a few of those. So make sure the chair is at the wall so it doesn't slip. You've got your mat there or something that you can keep your hands onto. Yeah, so slide your feet back. Yes, everybody looks like they're in a nice straight line. Slide your feet back so you're almost making a plank. Have your arms straight onto the support. Fingers are spreading. And now as you bend your elbow, just move your elbow back towards your waist. Keep your chest lifting as you lower yourself down. Elbows pointing back and down towards the feet. Press into the chair, straighten your arms. So you're back into the plank position. Front thighs pressing back. And now repeat in your own time, but slowly. We're not doing press-ups or anything. This is a variation of chaturanga. So it's slow with control. And then come away from the chair. And remember, I said if it's too strong, go back to the wall. And do the same thing at the wall. Gently pressing away. You can move your feet a little bit away. And you can slowly press to the wall and then move away. So you're still going to be working deeply into the shoulders, but with less pressure of the body weight. Excuse me. And see that your hips don't cave down towards the floor. Your body's in one straight line. And if you're not able to get that bend and lower yourself down, just go back to the wall. And if you're at the wall, you can look here if you want to try this variation. Your feet move further away, arms are straight, and then again you're moving towards the wall and then slowly pressing away. So just a few more of those. And then slowly come up away from the support and stand up. So it's very important when you're doing that you're really focusing on your elbows coming towards you and that they are not splaying out to the sides. They're just coming towards you as you lean forward. So we will use the chair again, but for now turn it so that you can get your back against the wall and your feet are apart. Don't worry about standing on a mat. Your feet are apart and have them about 10 centimeters away from the wall, the back of the heels, about 10 centimeters away. And then take your feet quite wide, even wider apart than your hips. And you're going to come down onto the seat of the chair. Spread your fingers and look forward. So once you're in that position, is everybody in that position? Move your heels back to the wall now. So the back of the legs are at the wall, the buttocks is at the wall. Spread your fingers, press down into the hands and look forward, creating this length to the front of the body And this concave upper back. Draw your shoulders back away from your ears. So as if there's a weight on the sternum bone, so that bone that's in the front of the chest that joins the front ribs, as if there's a weight that's drawing that down towards the floor. Have that action in the back and the chest, but your arms remain straight. Keep working the back of the legs to the wall. Let the front thighs press back to the back thighs. Keep looking forward. Turn your hands out to the sides now. And maintain that position. That weight on the sternum, moving down towards the floor, looking forward. Feel as if the hamstrings, so the back of the thighs, they're lifting up to the sitting bones. And then the buttocks flesh is lifting up and over towards the lower back. Press your legs into the wall. And now bend your knees and just bring your feet forward. You can bring your feet together and inhale, come all the way up, stand up in Tadasana. So completely upright. So now we're going to use the wall again. So this time I'll demonstrate from both angles just to get an idea of how we go into this. So the one is you're going to have a bit of a space between the wall and yourself, and then you're going to turn to the side. You can bend your knees. So you go into this position and then lean to the wall, and you may just get here. This is where you get that spine. See, some of us may be able to walk in a little bit further, closer, and then straighten your legs. And I'll show you the hand clasp. You're going to just join at the elbows and sort of hang down, moving down the wall. When you come out of it, you come up and out to the side. Okay, so that hand clasp is like this, and it's fine. If you end up with your knees bent, it's fine. We want you to get as close to the wall as possible. So feet apart, turn to the side, bend your knees, go down as low as you can, move your back to the wall, keep your legs bent as you keep moving your back to the wall and further down. So moving the upper back down the wall. And then hold, bend your arms and hold each hand to the elbows. Lean into the wall. So let the front of the body melt, let the back of the body melt down the wall. And then if you can, just straighten your legs a little. If you get them straight, that's fine, but don't force them to be straight. Your feet are apart, and you really are leaning into the wall, using that wall to help yourself draw down. So when we try and do this on our own, it's interesting, we can't actually go as far down, but it just shows how much we hold in the body, and we really can release down and open forward without forcing anything. Just hold and breathe. So this is Uttanasana at the wall. Change holding the grip on the arms. So just change the way you're holding your arms so the other hand holds the other elbow. And then hold where you're holding with your elbows. Let the thumb and the fingers gently squeeze onto those elbows and see if you can help to draw down the elbows even more towards the floor. Slide your back even further down. And if your legs are bent, see if you can just straighten a tiny little bit more. And in order to release your hamstrings, it really helps to draw the front thighs, the quadriceps, strongly up. Keep breathing. And now release your hands. Come out to the side, carefully out to the side. So you stand up to face the wall. If you're feeling dizzy, just keep your head down for a bit. Stay facing the wall with your feet together and stand completely upright in Tadasana. So the mountain pose, looking at the wall, keep your chest lifted, roll your shoulders back and down, extend into your fingers. Okay, so now another one with a chair. This is quite a fun one. It's an amazing opening. So Uttita Marichyasana. You're going to need the back of the chair to the wall. So if you can just come and look here. So you're going to do it to your right side. So I'm just doing the mirror image. Place your foot on the chair. And then from here, bring the other arm across. So we'll talk through it, but just to watch what's going to happen. The other hand goes to the wall. So at a right angle, so not too high, just like that. And then the other hand to this wall, or this side of the wall. And then from here, the entire chest needs to revolve and the shoulders towards the wall. This side moves away from the wall. So you end up flattening towards the wall. The standing leg must be working front out, pressing back. And then for some of us, we may end up that we can take our arms up. Okay, so back of the chair to the wall. Stand with your right side to the wall. So you're facing the seat of the chair, the back of the seat is to the back of the chair is to the wall, and your right side is to the wall. So just get there, and then raise your right leg. Take your hands to the wall. So the leg that's bent is closest to the wall. That's your right leg. Hands now, just make them to that 90-degree sort of angle. Spread your fingers. And start to turn from the waist. And then the rib cage and then the chest. If you can, turn to look over your shoulder. And then almost as if you're flattening to the wall. Spreading and opening, get closer to the wall. You're looking over your right shoulder. Keep that standing leg working firmly. The front thigh, that standing leg pressing back. And now, in your own capacity, just feel if you can lift your shoulders a bit high. If you have got intense shoulder problems, just stay where you are and breathe. This is Uttita Marichyasana, standing twisted pose. All the internal organs getting a gentle squeezing, wringing out action. And then bend your elbows if your arms are straight. Bring your hands all the way down so that they're sort of in line with your shoulders, and gently press away from the wall and turn to face back to where the chair is, and then move to the other side. So now your left side is going to be on the chair, left leg is bent. Take your hands to those right angles, spread your fingers so there's full awareness to the hands. And just see so that standing leg, you don't want it too far back. You want that heel below that tip of the standing leg. And then when you're ready, start to turn. So it's not turning from the shoulders. You're turning from the waist, then the ribs, the chest, and then the shoulders, flattening towards the wall. Shoulder blades spreading broadly on the back. The front of the body and the chest is lifting and opening up. So if you can, turn your head to look over the opposite shoulder. But if it catches in your neck, just keep the head to the other side. Hold and breathe. And then just bring your hands, if you haven't slid them up, take them all the way up. Keep your arms completely straight if you've got them up. But keep the arms coming into the shoulder joint. So you're not moving the arms out of the shoulder joints. They're safely into the shoulders. And then slowly draw them down. Press with your hands away from the wall. And then come out to face the chair. So you can get through the chair now. You'll need head support for Prasarita Padottanasana. That's the widespread pose. To take whatever it is that you need. Remember to rather have more support. You can have your blankets or your foams or blocks. Have more so that you don't need to get off the mat to add props to it. And take your feet wide. Press down onto the outer edges of your feet. Just pause in this position. So before you go into it, remember to use the back edge of your mat. So your heels are touching the back edge of your mat. Press down into the outer edges of the feet. Straighten your legs. Have your hands to your hips. Keep your chest lifting and your elbows drawing back. Inhale, look up, lengthening the front of your body. And then exhale, come forward to the halfway position with your hands below your shoulders and look forward. So stay in this position. We're going to do something a little different here. Keep your legs straight. So your fingers usually point forward in this position. Turn your hands now outwards so that your fingers are pointing behind you. So the creases of your elbows are facing forward. And then move your hands back. Your fingers are still pointing forward. See if you can get your hands flat onto the floor, but look forward. Get length to the front of your body. And then when you're ready, slowly bend your elbows so they're facing back, and then take your head down. You can still, in this position, gently press down into your hands and let your shoulders lift up away from your ears. See that your elbows are moving in towards each other. They're not moving out. So that your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders are in a line. Shoulders keep moving and gently up away from your ears. So there's a lovely space and openness to the neck. And if it catches in your back, just stay up. So you don't have to take your head all the way down. Use your exhalation here to now soften and release as you let the front of the body lengthen and open. And the hamstrings here, so the back of the thighs, they're moving up again towards the sitting bones. Your sitting bones are lifting high up towards the sky. But keep your front thighs, they must engage here. So you need to support the knees. Keep the front thighs tightening and drawing up towards your front hips. This helps to release the hamstrings at the back. And then raise your head. Your fingers are still pointing back. Bring your hands in front of you, below your shoulders. And then turn your hands all the way back to the front so your fingers are pointing forward. Take your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest. Keep your breath flowing evenly. And then slowly heel toe in until you can step together. I just need to check that you can see that edge. Yeah, so if you don't have blocks, don't worry. You can make a plan with using a to create the space. So we've got a space of about, I don't know, 10 centimeters or so there. But just watch for now. And then a bolster. If you have a bolster, use the bolster. And we'll bring the bolster in there. We need to build up height. So play with what you've got. Bring your blankets or towels or whatever it is. And if you've got foams and bolsters, this is the ideal one. The 2 blocks, the 2 foams with a bit of a gap. And then you bring your bolster in here. There's a little bit of a gap to the wall. So if you don't have that, you're going to take a blanket or something to create a bit of a space. So start the setup if you've got some of those things. For the rest of us, take a blanket, creating a bit of a space. And then here you can build, this can be blankets. The foams can be blankets or towels. And you're going to slowly build it up. So we're going to do Viparita Karani at the wall. Lovely, relaxing, releasing asana. So there you go, slowly building up height. You could have even another blanket or 2 on top of this. Some of you may want extra height. You can go up as high as that. So I'll demonstrate to get into the pose. You need the wall. You're going to sit on the support. Lean back with the one hand behind you and then shuffle so that your butt gets really close to the wall. And then we're going to swing around so that your buttocks is close to the wall and then lie back so that your shoulders are on the floor. And then from here, you can just relax your arms out to the sides. I'll come and have a look at what you're all doing. It's rather delicious. Your chest is lifted. Naturally, the back of the neck lengthens so that your chin comes towards your chest. So if you need me to see your props, you can just turn the camera if you need to ask any questions, but it looks like everybody's making a good plan. That looks good, Henry. Looks great. Yeah, so you want that height, and there's a little bit of a space between the height that you're sitting on and the wall. And so that's so that the buttocks can get close in towards the wall. So now as you get into it, rest your left hand onto the floor, Henry, and then swing all the way around. Try and get your butt close. You may slide off the prop, but you want to get your butt as close as you can in. So when you come back down, bend your elbows, come down. Yes, very nice. Shoulders must touch the floor. Some of us tend to slide all the way off, and you just need to then wiggle back. Get your butt in as close as you can. If your shoulders aren't touching the floor, you can put a folded blanket underneath the shoulders, not the head or the neck, so just under the shoulders. So it may take a while to get into this, and then you can settle into the pose once you've made all the necessary adjustments. And then your arms can just be out to the sides. Either you can have them straight, or what's very nice is if you just bend at the elbows and then relax the hands and the fingers. So you can feel the shoulder blades are able to spread broadly on the back. So if you are doing self-practice at home, and if you have a belt, you can also bring a belt into this. It's very nice if you put a belt around the thighs. You can close your eyes. Yeah, find a comfortable position for your arms. Even if you bend your elbows, sort of bring your arms in line with your shoulders, bend your arms, relax your hands. And allow the legs to come and settle, the head of the femur. So the femur is the upper thigh part of the leg bones. They sink into the hips. So the head of the femur sinks into the hips. You can close your eyes if you haven't already. And with each exhalation, just allow the abdomen to broadly spread back like a lake, reaching the outer shores. So when life gets a bit hectic, we get a lot of physical tension and emotional irritability that can be stored in the shoulder area. Our shoulders can start rounding forward or lifting towards the ears. The head starts jutting forward, and we develop a more compressed or defeated posture. So it's really good to work deeply into the shoulders to release and open the space in the shoulders. And keep remembering to lift and open our chest in our day-to-day activities. As soon as you're feeling stressed, just check in with yourself. See that maybe the shoulders are bunching up to the ears. Release them down the back. Lift your chest. So in this position now, your shoulders are quiet. Your chest is gently lifted in this position, naturally lifted in this position. And this is really also good for circulation in the legs, very good for restless legs. And now bend your knees and bring your feet so that the soles of your feet touch. The knees go out to the sides. So stay on the support. Just take your knees out to the sides. So this is Baddha Konasana legs. Soles of the feet gently touching. Knees out to the sides. You can allow your breath to lengthen, and as your breath lengthens, allow your eyes to start to open. And now place your feet flat onto the wall or the cupboard, whatever you're using, knees together. And you can just slide out from this by lifting your head and then slowly slide back. Press into the wall or the cupboard as you slide back. And then come down so that the entire back body is resting on the floor. Bring your feet again into Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet together on your support. Let the knees relax out to the sides. And then place your feet onto the support, knees together, and roll to your right. Come up slowly and prepare for Shavasana. So to relax, something underneath the back of your head, a blanket or towel. And remember, you've got the option to put the calves onto the seat of the chair if you need that for your back, to release your back. Or you could put a bolster underneath the back of your legs. But lie down with awareness. Don't just flop down. Make sure you're warm enough. You should always be warm enough when you relax because your body temperature drops anyhow when you're relaxing. So go into it with your knees bent, legs bent, and bring the support under the back of your head so that it touches the top of your shoulders. Get your shoulders moving down your back. So we don't want to undo what we've done. Now's when we really reap the benefits. So you can even hold onto the sides of your mat once your knees are bent. Lift your chest, take your shoulders further down, away from your ears, and then release the buttocks flesh away from you. And now straighten your legs and let your feet roll to the sides. Relax your legs, the inner legs roll to the outer legs. Palms facing up. And then gently close your eyes. If you have eye coverings, that's fine. But otherwise, just relax your eyes. So once you finish making all the adjustments, just ensure your hands are facing up. Completely soften the fingers. And relax the palms of the hands. All the way up through the wrists. Relaxing into the elbow joints. Through the upper arms. And relaxing into the shoulders. Releasing. Let the back of the neck be long and soft, and the chin as if it's melting down towards the chest. Let your toes soften, and the soles of the feet all the way through the metatarsals, all the bones in the feet relaxing into the heels and the ankles. And inviting that relaxation to move through the lower legs into the knees, and around the knees, the sides of the knees, the inner knees and the back of the knees, relaxing. And drawing that up through the upper legs into the entire pelvic girdle, softening and releasing. And then bring your attention to your breath, which by now should be coming soft and serene without controlling it. Just observe the breath. And with each exhalation, allowing the body to soften and release as if it's melting to the ground below you as you completely let go of the body. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath. The breath is seen as a reflection of spirit. Bring your attention to your heart center, where your heart chakra is. And see here this beautiful still pool. This little pool in a forest with a bud of a lotus flower that's tightly closed, just floating in the cool stillness of the water. And now as you start to lengthen your breath, with each lengthening of the breath, allow this bud to open and unfold. Bend your arms and bring your hands onto your lower abdomen. And then bend your knees and roll over to your right. So come to rest with your head on your right arm. And stay there for a moment. And then use your left hand. You come sit all the way up, bring your head up last. Sit in a cross-legged position again with your hands into the prayer position. Lift your chest so your spine lifts, there's a free flow of energy. And then release your head down to your heart and have a moment to yourself. Let's keep this calm serenity close to us as we move through the rest of this day. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. Thank you for being here. I hope you all have the most wonderful day.